Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Dave from wetflyswing.com, and today I'm going to show you how to tie a Suskwa Poacher. This fly, we're using a Waddington Shank 45 millimeter. This is a big boy, but you can tie it sparse, tiny if you want. Really just the different color combinations are the key here. So this fly, and you can see I've already got it started. And I already tied on the back, the hook end there, so that's all ready to go. I'll have a link to a video that you can check out if you want to see how to do that below. So I'm just going to start putting on some orange thread. This is just some uni thread 6/0, and the color isn't critical here. You can use whatever color you feel you like. I'm going to be using at the front some chenille, some pink chenille, so you'll want to kind of match that somewhat. But for the back, we'll start with this other color, but for the front I'm going to wrap up here and just tie on. The first part of this is getting some eyes, and I'm just going to use some old school bead chain eyes. These are just large bead chain eyes. And you just need to get some wire cutters, basically. That's the one thing you need. So you just put these babies in. When you clip it, just put your hand around so you don't lose it. Like I almost did. There. Yes, I did. I lost it. So let me get back. I'll show you again here. See if I can do that again. Maybe I'll cut that. Maybe I won't. But again, you just break it. Get in your hand. There you go. And when you start this, so this is the top of the fly. You want to rotate this around because we're going to want to put this on the bottom. Tie this on. This just kind of balances the weight. So we're just going to throw that right here. When you put this on here, just give it enough room so you can make a wrap of chenille in front. That's the only thing here. So I'm just going to do a couple of cross wraps just to start to get it tight. Do a few of those. Then you can do a few right in front, a few in the back, but then you can just go this figure 8. So you just go over, coming towards the camera, under, and then back through the back. If I can turn this to show you what I'm doing. So I'm kind of going like this. So I'm going over the top, under, around the back, and then back, crossing. I can do something in slow motion, so that just kind of, and then once you get that, you can rotate it and then go back to doing a few in the front, and then I'll go a few here, and then you can just check it. Like that's pretty darn tight. I might throw a couple like this, but that's about all you need. Just kind of like that. So you see that's nice and tight on there. So here my friends are back. All right, and then the first thing we're going to do is put a little bump in the back, just some medium chenille. You can just break this off with your hand, and then that helps you to make the little bit of a anchor chenille, just like that. So tie that in and just make a few wraps to get this bump going in the back, just like that. I usually like to do one, just to build it up a bit. Okay, so now that we got that ready to go, we've got our black thread on here. We're going to take this, just a Marabou feather here, and we're going to tie it from the tip up. So basically grab from the tip up here. We'll tie that in right there. Get that in, and then we'll just spin. Cut that off, and then we can just spin this thing up a few times. You can kind of pull this out like this to get it in position as you spin it. And I'm just spinning this baby, just I do about 2 or 3 wraps. That's maybe 2.5. I can tie that off. Get that off, and then we can cut that off. And then you just want to grab this as best you can and pull it back. We're going to wrap back over it a little bit to get it back towards that little bump we put in there. Just like that. And that just kind of allows it to breathe when it's in the water. Get a few of these. And then we're just going to put some blue flash. Blue flash mixed with a little bit of gold flash, and this isn't too much, but I'm just going to take probably about maybe 6 strands of this. I'll make it just long enough so I can fold it over and put it on each side. So I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one on the back side here. Get those, and I'll just fold this over and just put it right on the other side. And then I'll wrap that down just like that. Just getting a couple of. Then we'll put a little bit of gold. Just gives a little bit of something hanging in there. This is, and the blue is 6915 Flashabou. The this kind of goldish is 6906. Do the same thing, cut off. We're only getting about, I don't know, maybe this one will do a little bit more. Maybe we'll get 8. I'll cut this off here. And same thing though, we'll fold it over, tie it from one side, and then we will switch back and just have just a couple on the other side. So we'll do that. Switch it over, and then we tie that in, and we just pull it back. It doesn't have to be perfect on this. You just want to get a little bit of that hint in there, and you can see that it's gold and blue and black. 2 killer colors. So we got that. And you can, if you want, you can use glue as you're doing these next steps to secure the body. I'm not going to on this one. I'm just going to wrap it in, but I'm going to take some Krystal flash here. And this is a full length. I'm going to pull, let's see, I'm going to probably have 10 strands here. I'm going to pull those all the way out to get a long section. A long section. There's probably, there might be 10 in there. I'm going to cut this off right here, and then this is going to be the body. So I'll cut this off, wrap this in, and then this is where you can glue if you want the extra security. I'm not too worried about this. I'm just going to wrap it. But yeah, if you want, the fly to last longer, the glue will help. So I'm just going to start wrapping. You can see there's a little bit of that bump back there, but I think it looks pretty sweet. And we're just kind of covering things up as we go. The body's not going to be, it looks longer than it is right now, but we're going to put a head on there, get some other, so I'll wrap right up there. I'll cut this off, and now that we're coming to the front, I'm going to switch back to the other thread. Okay, back to it now. Let's see, I got my good scissors. Put those there. Let's see. Front bump the purple. Let's go. So I'm going to go about right here. Right back right here. And I'm going to put this little bump. And again, I'm going to do one of these lighter color chenille that we used before. I'm going to break off. Actually, I'm going to just use what I already had. I had a little piece right here. I'll make that anchor again. And this one, do the same thing. We're going to, just like we did in the back, just making a little bump to keep the fly off. So wrap 1, 2. We're just kind of come, oops. I'm just going to come back a little bit, just like that. And you can wrap that off right there. Tie that off good. I'll pop this off. And then I got that little guy. We're going to throw purple. Purple bear, same things we did before. Tied in from the front. And you can see this fly isn't really there isn't a ton going on as far as, I mean, there's lots of flies that look like this. Obviously, it's got the same characteristics, but the cool thing about this one is it came from Jack in episode 2, Jack Mitchell. And if you haven't heard the podcast, go to wetflyswing.com /show. You can get all the episodes there, and you can take a look at the one that I did with Jack, which was great. And I asked him, I asked a lot of my guests, what's your go-to pattern for steelhead? Can you send me a couple? And he did. He let me know that this is one of them. So and he's a big winter steelhead guy, fishes in Washington. This is one of his go-to patterns. So I'm just going to swing that around just like that, then tie that off right there. And yeah, so you can check that episode out. It's really good episode. He goes into a bunch of tips, some things that you haven't thought about. I'm going to wrap this like this, back over it to cover that up, because we're going to wrap a couple more things here. So you got that little bump, and you can see how thin that is. It's not like a ton of material. It's going to hang back like that. And then we're just going to get some more green and blue flash here. So we have the blue, and I guess the green is the other one we're throwing on here. This is kind of a green. This is kind of a greenish, brownish 2016 Flashabou. So I'm just going to pull off. We'll do very similar like we did before. Take off 8 or 10 strands off of this. Then we're going to put on. This one's going to go actually more on the top, like that. I don't want that many. I'm just going to pull that on top. Let this go back. Same thing. It's going to go back quite a ways back here. Just throw that right on top of the loose wrap. There you go. And if you want, you can also wrap a few down below. Just take this and wrap down here to add a couple more. Again, this stuff isn't critical. We're just throwing on some flash. Get that on. Then we're going to throw a little bit. Get the brownish. Then we're going to throw a little bit of this blue again. Blue Flashabou, what we had before. And yeah, but the episode was sweet. One of the tips that Jack gave was to hit, especially in the winter, hit the heads and tails, is what he said. Heads and tails of the runs. So that's the places where those fish are going to be migrating, especially when you get high water that comes in. They're not going to hold necessarily, they're going to be moving. So if you get up towards the heads and the tails, it's a good chance that, if you, instead of fishing the entire run, spending your time fishing the whole run, you might just hit the heads and tails, where that's probably the best place to find some of those fish. So you can see that's, I got that little bit of gold, a little bit of purple. It's a little bit of flashiness. Okay, now that we got that, we're going to put on a little bit of this KingFisher blue Schlappen. Schlappen is good stuff. Everybody loves a little Schlappen. So I'm going to break this off and then do another little anchor. Throw that on there. And then I'm just going to wrap this around. Just doesn't take much, just one, because it's going to give it that hint of blue. Right there, just kind of like a 1.5. And then once you get that, that's kind of the front part of the fly. Gives it that little hint. And then we're going to finish up with a little bit of egg-sucking leech, baby. Egg-sucking leech. Take a look at that. Yes, that's looking good. I can even spin it around. Just go right there. So there you go. That's a nice, that's a pretty darn sparse fly. So I'm just going to go back now and finish up with this stuff right here. The serious egg sucking. This is the stuff that gets them. Do another little anchor. Tie that in right there. And then we're going to spin this baby around. Finish her up. So we're just going to do one. When you do this, you can there's a couple ways to do it. You can go around like I did there, or you can go around through the front first. I'm just going to do it just like that. I'll show you. Let me show you again. you can go like this. Probably the easier way is to do it like that, figure 8, and then around the back like that. And then you come, and then when you come up, make sure to get that all the way around. You come up right there, and that kind of builds that last piece right there. And you can just tie it off just like that. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to trim this off. Get this cut close right here. And this is definitely when I was up in BC. I guess we're talking BC a lot, but this was a good fly. But again, Jack Mitchell, he is the man. The more I get out there, the more I hear that he has some serious skills. Good guy to connect with. So I'm just going to tie this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then put a little glue on it. And you can do, if you want, you can do another. I'll get a little glue on mine, make sure this thing is going to stay secure, because I'm going to fish this baby. I'm going to fish this fly for sure. It's got everything you need. It's got the hook. So yeah, so that is it. That is it. The Suskwa Poacher. I'm going to be hitting this one up for sure very soon. So again, this is Dave from Wet Fly Swing. If you have any questions, you can drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to put some head cement on this baby and kind of get ready for the next thing. Also, if you want, I'm not sure if you heard about the Steelhead book. You can go to wetflyswing.com/Patreon. That's Patreon, and get the new book for $1. This is going to go on sale later for probably about $20, but the current ebook, if you want to get on the Patreon for $1 a month, cancel anytime, just grab the book there. Trying to grow that channel and get some support. So hope to see you soon, and all the links will be in the show notes. Thanks again. Bye.